Okay, so welcome to my channel. This is a new film room series I'm going to be doing. I'm going to be evaluating a lot of college prospects. First off, we're going to start with George Pickens, who this video is about, against LSU in 2019. So this is true freshman George Pickens going up for a lot of the game against true freshman Derek Stingley. And it's a really good matchup. I think there's a lot of good insight in this game into George Pickens as a prospect, as well as kind of looking at Derek Stingley when he was really in his prime before injury. And so here is some of the tape. Okay, so first off, here he is in, through motion. Here's like a trips right alignment. He's going to be in isolated man coverage with this corner at the bottom of the screen. And you're going to see kind of, he gets a pretty good release. He's going to, hand fight with him, close the cushion, going to establish himself outside, really make the corner commit, and then hit a hard cut back inside to create separation. Then he's going to make a tough catch through this coverage right here. The corner's kind of going to dive early and really just miss on this ball. But Pickens is going to be, be able to catch this at the 30 and run all the way down to almost the 15, about the 16-yard line. This is, some pretty good after the catch potential. He doesn't, he really likes to use this hurdle move that he used at the end. But definitely a good rep against man coverage. I think that's what he's best at. Zone, I haven't seen as much of him, especially in this game. LSU ran a lot of man this year with their just, stacked cornerback room of Christian Fulton, Derek Stingley, and others. But this is a really good move, and let's move on to the next one. Okay, so on this play, it's actually going to be a run, but Pickens is going to be isolated on Derek Stingley at the top, and he's going to do what I've heard called steal a release here, see kind of what Stingley has given him, because this is early in the game. We're watching these in chronological order. So he's going to kind of see what Stingley gives him, and this is just an incredible move he's going to make against press coverage. So he's going to take a little step here and then load all of his momentum, make Stingley flash his hands, and then kind of chop and just fly by him. I mean, look at that amount of separation it creates. And it's just on a run play. I mean, if this was a pass play, this is probably a touchdown. So I really love to see this effort that, on just a run, he's still trying to see what he can set up and see what he can do against, one of the best corners in the nation this year, just on a play that he really didn't even need to put that much effort in. And you can question the value of that rep by itself since it is just a run play. Maybe Stingley knew that and wasn't putting all of his effort in, but from what I can tell, Stingley is having to approach this just like as if it was a pass because his eyes are not in the backfield, they're on Pickens. So I'm going to call this a valid beat here, but you can, take that with a grain of salt and make your own opinion on it. Now here he is again, isolated with Stingley on the left side. This is going to be a slant route just to quit. I mean, this is his first read. Make a nice stutter move here and then just get a ton of separation inside on the slant. Good clear out from his guy in the slot. And that's going to be a good throw. And he's actually going to get a lot of after the catch here. He's just going to toss Stingley right off of him and then get tackled by the next guy. He's going to catch it at about, the 40 and rumble all the way down to, looks like about the 32. It's good to see that he can just kind of make these kind of moves inside, be pretty dependable as a first down target. And again, I guess, I'm going to keep saying this because it's that impressive. I mean, this is the season that gave Derek Stingley like top 5 hype for, 3 years because his, 2020 and 2021 seasons were not that impressive in comparison. And he's still considered, a blue chip, top 10 probably prospect. So really great move here as he just closes that cushion incredibly well. And his breaks are so fluid. And, I mean, that's just a wide open window. And Jake Fromm, who's, didn't impress me too much in this game, is able to capitalize there. So this rep right here is going to be a free play as that bottom edge guy is going to jump off sides. Pickens is just kind of running a fade here. He's going to get a pretty quick release, and he's going to fight to, the back hip. He's going to keep with that back hip of Stingley. And Fromm's going to put this ball outside. I mean, it honestly ended up being kind of a perfect throw. I mean, again, a play like this, where it's a free play and Fromm can just throw it up. But, I mean, he's kind of going to moss Stingley, and this is just an absolutely ridiculous sideline toe tap. That ball is, in a place where only he can get it, and it's a super tough catch for him even. But he's going to completely extend his body and just make a ridiculous toe drag here. I mean, this just an insane effort, and his body control on this play is just ridiculous. So, again, I mean, he's kind of beaten up on Stingley here early in this game. So on this play, they're going to be on the goal line, kind of in this tight split set, and look at, I mean, his speed off the line. I mean, he just immediately digs in and just gets a step. even with this natural pick that happens where it kind of knocks down everybody, he gets wide open, and this should be a touchdown. Even after Fromm breaks through this pressure, Pickens is wide open for 3 seconds here in the back of the end zone. But even just this initial release is super impressive, as even without the pick, if there hadn't been pressure, this should be a touchdown, because he just gets a step just like that off the line on Stingley. Okay, so here's 2 plays later on the goal line. Pickens is going to be isolated with Stingley yet again. And there's a lot of room inside here, so you're really thinking slant, and if you're thinking that, you'd be right. He's going to immediately close this cushion and get low, so he has a lot of opportunity in the break here. And he doesn't really sell the route until he breaks it inside, and he's going to get a ton of separation here, as even though this ball is kind of high and honestly a little bit late, as soon as he gets that step in, that ball should be out. That ball is going to be super high, and Pickens is going to just completely extend here to make a ridiculous catch, especially with the threat of 2 guys right next to him that could just be, knocking him down. That's a tough contested catch, just because of, a lot of receivers are thinking about the hit after, but he goes all the way up and makes an extremely athletic effort to get up to this ball. And this is actually Georgia's only touchdown of this game. And that's the kind of play you want him to make, in this SEC championship game. Okay, so this is our last rep of the game. It's not, it's kind of ending on a low note, but he's isolated on Christian Fulton on the other side. This is pretty much in garbage time. This game is over. And he's going to get a pretty big opportunity here. It's against single high coverage, as they're going to rotate into it. And he's going to get a pretty good move. He's going to step inside, but Fulton is actually going to stick to him really well here. This is just really good coverage by, I don't know, I haven't kept up with Christian Fulton too much on the Titans, but this is some really good coverage, and Pickens doesn't get that much separation, but he stacks him pretty well and puts himself in a good position to come down with this ball. And Fulton, you could say, maybe gets there a tad early, but this is just going to be a tough drop from Pickens, as that's one you want him to make. It's not one you can really just expect, but with the type of receiver he is, that's a catch you would really like to see him come down with. That's tight coverage. Fulton might have a hand on him in there. Can't really tell from this angle, as there's no, end zone cam on this one, sadly. But that's a tough drop, but still, he puts himself in a pretty good position against great coverage. And, if he comes down with that ball, that's just a ridiculous catch. So that's going to be, I think that's, 7 plays right there for George Pickens against LSU. He made a really big impact in this game, despite Georgia really kind of getting blown out of the water. But I'm really impressed with him. I watched him against Cincinnati as well, and I think I'll maybe make something on that. But he didn't really impress me that game. He didn't seem to be playing with a lot of effort. But this game, pretty much every rep, even the ones I'm not showing where he didn't really do much, he seemed to put in a lot of effort. He's pretty willing as a blocker. He's not got, it all together yet, but he seems pretty willing in this game. And this is from 2 years ago. So, again, a lot can change in that time. And he's been injured, and we'll see if he kind of keeps this explosive athletic ability that he has in this game. But I was really impressed with George Pickens in this one. And, if all of his games were like this is a clear first-round pick. But this is just one game, and I've only watched 2 of him so far. But let me know what you guys think of him and what you think of this tape. And let me know what other prospects you'd like me to look at. I think I'm going to go through the receiver class first and kind of get all those guys down and then move on to the next one. But, yeah, let me know what you think of this game. And thank you for watching, and suggest more prospects down below. Peace.